quick rundown of some of the problems in the book that I had you do for more practice before the quiz. I'm just going to walk through how to do these. I would recommend having done them yourself, at least before I go through them. And then if you get stuck, you can use this to help yourself through. So it's 43 through 50. This is talking about simplifying or rewriting expressions with negative exponents, zero exponents, just overall simplification of powers. All right, number 43, I can rewrite this. I can either use my exponent rules, but again, I'm sort of hesitant to just follow these rules and think more about what this means. So 2 to the 5th power is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So there's 5 of those, and then 2 times 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 2. That's 2 to the 8th. Okay. Well, if I were to go through this, I can actually cancel some of these out, right? 2 divided by 2, that's 1, and this becomes 1, and 1, and 1, and 1, which leaves me on the top with 1, and 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 2 times 2 times 2, we can rewrite as 2 to the 3rd power. And if you look back up here, what you can really say is, okay, I'm multiplying 2 8 times, and here I'm multiplying 2 5 times, and I have 3 more of them on the bottom, which is what this is saying also. You could also evaluate this. If you were to do 2 to the 5th, what is 2 to the 5th? 2 to the 5th, I think, is 32. 2 to the 8th is probably something like 256. And if you divide it, you'll notice on the bottom you're going to get your common factor would be 8. 2 to the 3rd is 8. Okay, so I'm going to go through 44. If you haven't done that, pause the video and make sure you get that one done. Okay, I'm going to separate this. So this is a negative exponent, right? And this is a positive exponent. So what I'm going to redo is I'm going to write this as 4, right, to the negative 2 over 1 times 1 over 4 to the 6. So what I'm doing is I'm giving everything either a denominator of 1 or a numerator of 1. So I separate that out. And if you look, if you multiply this, you end up with this. And if you multiply here, you get this. So it's saying the same thing. All right, so 4 to the negative 2 over 1, right? That's saying I have to flip this. So it's 1 over 4 squared. Okay? Notice I have to flip. Okay? And then this is going to be the same times 1 over 4 to the 6th power, which is equal to 1 over, okay, this is 2 4s and this is 6 4s, so together that's 4 to the 8th. Okay, so I can write it as 1 over 4 to the 8th. And if I wanted to write this without a fraction bar, I could go ahead and write this as, right, I have 1 over 4 to the 8th, which if I, oops, that's an 8. If I flip this around, okay, reverse that, 4 over 1, that's going to be to the negative 8, right? I just flip this, so this becomes the opposite. Well, 4 divided by 1 is 4, so that's the same as saying 4 to the negative 8th power. Okay? All of these are saying the exact same thing. We're just rewriting them a whole bunch of different ways. Okay, I'm going to the next one, so if you haven't done it, pause the video. Okay, same thing here. So I'm going to rewrite this as 16 to the negative 9th over 1 times 1 over 16 to the negative 8th. All right, well, 16, this is the same as 16 over 1 to the negative 9th power, right? And this is 1 over 16 to the negative 8th. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, 16 over 1 to the negative 9th, that's the same as 1 over 16 to the 9th times, and then this one, flip it, right? So it's 16 over 1 to the 8th, right? Notice I use the negative to make this the opposite, right? So 16 over 1 becomes 1 over 16. The negative becomes positive. This, okay? Well, this is the same as saying 1 over 16 to the 9th times 16 to the 8th over 1, which, when I multiply this across, is 16 to the 8th over 16 to the 9th. Okay, and if I were to write them all out, I'd say there's 8 16s on the top and there's 9 16s on the bottom. Well, there's 1 16th, there's one more 16 on the bottom and 1 on the top. Okay? Right, there's 8 here, there's 9 here. 8 from here will cancel with 8 from here, which leaves me with 1 16 on the bottom. Okay, going on to the next one. 15 to the 3rd times 15 over 15 to the negative 4th. So I'm going to rewrite this. 15 to the 3rd power, okay, over 1 times 1 over 15 to the negative fourth. So this is going to be equal to 15 cubed over 1, right? I'm just going to leave it. I don't need to put this in parentheses because I don't want, it's positive. It's a nice positive exponent. I don't want to mess with that. Okay? This one, though, is going to be 1 over 15, right, to the negative fourth. So, and I want that negative to go away, right? I want it to be a positive so that it's less confusing. And then, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this negative. So now I get 15 over 1 to the fourth. Okay, and that's going to be 15 cubed over 1 times 15 to the fourth over 1, which this is 3 15s and this is 4 15s, and I'm multiplying them across, which gives me 15 to the seventh over 1, or just 15 to the seventh. Okay, moving on. 47. 17a to the third over a to the seventh. Well, this one is, I don't have any negative exponents, so if I were to write this out and expand it, I'd have 17 times a times a times a, all over a times a times a times a times a times a times a. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? One of those, one of each, right? Cancel, cancel, cancel. That means I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. And I'm left with the 17 on the top. Okay. And if you look at it, it makes sense because there's 7 here, there's 3 here, there's 4 more on the bottom. Okay, so 3 of these will cancel with 3 there, and I'm left with 4 on the bottom. All right, moving on. 48. This is one we did in class, but I'll do it again. So 15 times b to the negative fifth over 3 times b to the fourth. So this one's got a lot of pieces I'm going to separate out. So 15 over 1 times b to the negative fifth over 1 times, now this is getting a little confusing. The 3 is on the bottom, right? So this is actually 1/3. And then the b to the fourth, right, is on the bottom. So I'm going to put a 1 above that. All right. And now I'm just going to move, I'm going to change my, I'm going to change the exponents so everything is positive. Okay. And I'm not going to walk through this whole thing again. All right. You should understand at this point when you do this, right, this flips. I'm going to get 1 over b to the fifth. Okay. It was negative. It moves to the denominator. Now it's positive. Times 1/3 times 1 over b to the fourth. Okay, now when I multiply all the way across here, right, all the way across here, I get 15 times 1 times 1 times 1, which is just 15. And then I have 1, and I have b to the fifth and b to the fourth, so that's going to be b to the ninth. And then I also have that 3 on the bottom. Okay. Well, these numbers can simplify, right? I can do, there's 15 and 3. I can divide both of those by 3, which leaves me with 5, okay, and b to the ninth. Okay. Next one. Same idea here. Okay, let's break this up. So we've got 26 over 1 times w to the negative fourth over 1 times that 13 is on the bottom, so I'm going to put a 1 on the top, and then I've got a w to the negative 12th and then a 1 above it. Okay, separate all the pieces. Now go through and make all my exponents positive. So I've got 26 over 1. Okay, this one, it's going to flip. So I got w to the fourth times 1 over 13 times, this one flips, w to the 12th over 1. Okay. Now if I want, let's see, I could recombine it, right? So I could do 26 w to the 12th over 13 w to the fourth. And if you notice, really what happened, look, the w switched because it's negative, and then this w to the negative 12th, it switched places, right? This is saying divide. This says do the opposite, so I multiply. This one says multiply, but it says not negative, so that means I'm going to end up dividing it. Okay, and then here, let's look. Let's see, 26 and 13. Let's see, this is 2 times 13, right? So I can divide this by 13, and I'm left with 2. Okay. This has w, this has 12 w's. This divided by 4 of those w's. So 4 of these and 4 of these will cancel out, which leaves me with w to the 8th. And it's all over 1. So I can just write it as 2w to the 8th power. Okay, and this is the final answer. Let's go to the last one here, number 50. Okay, break it up. I've got 11 over 1 times g squared over 1 times g to the negative fourth with a 1 above it. So I've got 11 over 1 times g squared over 1 times, flip this, g to the fourth over 1. Now combine my terms. So I've got 11. This is g squared and g to the fourth, so g times g times g times g times g times g. That's g 6 times, all over 1, which is 11g to the 6th power. Okay, there you go.